What's up, y'all? We back with another video, man. We getting them popped out. Y'all, pause. We back with another video, though. Y'all make sure y'all watch, like, comment, subscribe. Give me some ideas of the next video in the comment section. Right now, we about to watch this video on the beat maker Dante Made It. I'm thinking that's what his name is. DXNTEMADEIT. Well, he made the beat for Boss Man D-Lo, Get In With Me. I really like that song. I be bumping it in the car all the time. It be hitting. And I know y'all be listening to it too. So let's go in and watch this video. It's basically just beat breakdown, him showing, probably telling a little background on how he got with Boss Man, how he got the beat to him and all that type of stuff. And maybe y'all, if y'all producers, y'all learn a little background on like how to get beats out. He might give us some sauce or something. Let's see. But yeah, man, let's get into the video.
That's funny because, D-Lo and them, they had called me. D-Lo and his managers, they had called me and, I was at work and they had called me. I missed it. I ran outside, so they didn't really see all I saw was in McDonald's, but I guess they still saw it. It was like, you at McDonald's, bro? We about to own 5 of them bitches. And I was like, damn, yeah. Yo, this Dante Made It. You watching my On The Radar beat breakdown for Get In With Me.
Bro, he look like a teenager, man. These jits out here making it, for real.
So, I was actually outside cutting lawn. I was listening to some of D-Lo old records, and
What, he like
I
Haitian or
heard one of his
something?
record called "Pop My Shit." My homeboy Gentle Beat and X9 produced that, and I was like, "Yo, I could hear potential in him." I hear the voice, and he been bubbling around in Florida. Like a couple people would post him here and there.
Yeah, so
And
you
then,
giving us a
I
little
came
background
upstairs
on.
and I made this
So
beat that I was hearing.
yeah, like he giving us a little background on what's going on, so we can, you know, kind of get the idea. He a kid. He in the producer world in Florida, so he out there just like working with different people, seeing what's going on and stuff like that. And yeah, so like you just gotta be working, bro. You gotta make stuff and keep making it. Like stay consistent. Consistency is key.
Hearing outside, and I put it down for a couple weeks, and a couple weeks after that I listened back to it and I was like, this shit hard. I sent it out to D-Lo and them, and then that's the first ever beat I ever sent them.
Okay.
So I was actually, this when I first started McDonald's. I was in the freezer. I used to sneak in the freezer to use my phone sometimes when I was at McDonald's, and I felt my phone kept vibrating, and everybody kept sending me the song because they heard my tag, and I was in the freezer. I was like, oh, that's hard. He actually, cause I got the song like a couple months before that, and I was like, oh, he finally dropped this one. And, I was really just waiting to clock out so I could really hear it or hear what section of it he posted. And then I got home and I was like, damn, this bit jumping. Feel me? It's at like 20K likes already, and it ain't even D-Lo ain't even posted it. It was
Okay.
the Creeping Through the Street that posted it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, damn, this every time I reload my page, that bit kept going up. The next
Yeah,
day
we
at
was
school,
rocking with the
people saying
song.
that
Heck
shit hard.
yeah.
And, I thought it was just gonna be a regular record, cause I've been
Nah,
hard.
that's
I
really
just
the
thought
one.
that people just starting to realize that. A couple days later, D-Lo posted on his page, and that's when it went silly. I saw Quando Ronda post commented on it, and I was like, yeah, this shit out of here. Niggas actually told me. Niggas see me in the hallway, say that shit hard. My producer homeboy would be like, yeah, that song a hit. I didn't really believe it till I seen it. I was like, yeah, this
Right.
shit really a hit.
Right.
I grew up in Jamaica.
Oh, he
I came
Jamaican.
here in
Okay. Okay.
2018. I first moved to
Fagwan.
Alabama. Then the year after that, I came to Florida. So it was a lot of moving around. Adapting to American culture. I still had the accent and stuff like that. I was trying to adapt to the American culture because they didn't have a lot of stuff that we did back in Jamaica. All right, so I was rapping at first, and
All right. What
I think
inspired you
a
to start
producer hit
producing?
me up saying I gotta buy the beat, and I ain't had the money to buy the beat at the time, so I decided to make my own beats. And then after that, I just never went back to the rapping side. I really mess with YoungBoy music. So at first I was trying to get into that, that Baton Rouge type of beat. So I think it was I Hate YoungBoy. When he dropped that song, I was really like, this beat hard, and I'm about to get into producing.
Who you inspired by
Producer
in the
wise, I'll
music
say,
scene?
I'll probably say Zaytoven.
Yeah.
I seen him
Who's not?
in the studio. His work ethic and
Who's not
his
inspired by
vibe in the
Zaytoven
studio
as a
cool.
producer?
I'll say Rico beat too, and and then rapper wise, I'll say Raw for now. His vibe in the studio kind of hard, supportive.
What's
So
your
in the
work
studio,
process?
most of the time, I'm already prepared before I even go to the session. I probably put a Dropbox folder together, separated by vibes. I probably have like some hard club records in a folder, and then like smooth. It depends on the rapper for real. I probably have the Dropboxes already set up, and then when I go in the studio, feel the vibe, feel the room out. I'll kind of just play whatever the room leaning towards. I'll say expand, Xenology, and
Three
Triton.
top plugins. Craziest place you cooked up outside the studio?
That's a good one. Me and my boy Scenario be driving around the city, and we just park somewhere. One time we cooked in a McDonald's. We be cooking in the car. Let me see. I cooked in class before. I bought in high school, I took my laptop to class, and I was in the lunchroom cooking up beats. Whereas, I was on the cruise cooking up too.
That's cool.
I went to the hotel for my birthday.
Imagine you in high school,
on top of
nigga cooking up beats.
So yeah,
Was
most
like
of the time I
college
just,
with
I go to
producing.
class, I come back home. Every here and there, I'll probably go to an event here and there, but most of the time I just, go to class, make beats, and just rinse and repeat. Same thing.
Computer science major, okay.
Yeah, for the most, I don't really like to look at myself as a producer. Sometimes I want to look at myself as a businessman for,
I wonder where you go to school at.
Sources of income. So if I could
I feel like he
set
had
up
an
my schedule
HBCU.
for that, I don't really got to work on all actively work on all four of my businesses. At least I could, pick one or two that I'm actively, participating in. So if I'm a producer, I set my own schedule. I only work from 8 to 12 every day. In the day I'm doing my computer science stuff. I want to look into opening a business for that too after I graduate. And gain some experience. I want to actively and passively, be a businessman.
Right.
I'll probably say Future. This seemed random, but Future, YoungBoy, and
Get
Future,
to him
YoungBoy,
breaking
and
down the beat. That's what I want to see.
let's just say Rob.
We're gonna ask this man
Let me see. This
forever.
one time, I made a beat for somebody,
Right.
and
I think we just gonna fast forward to where you get into the
stay
beat.
consistent in general, and then your time gonna come. It don't matter if it's in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. Your time gonna come, and when your time come, you're gonna be happy that you was staying consistent. Also, first I started with the pads. I got this pad from Expand. It's the I think it's called Massive Pads, Massive Pad, Bright Pads, and this is what I did. Yeah, so I basically just did a regular note. I think it was a D minor note, and I brought this down and I copied that over and brought it up as semitone, and I copied that over. And then after that, I layered it with a electric piano on Triton called Electric Piano 1. And in here, I think I removed the middle notes. After that, I added a bell. And this was just to,
Simple,
add texture to it.
simple stuff, y'all. It ain't gotta
And
be
then after that,
complicated.
that's when I went in and added the boo bass. So I'm gonna play it before play the boo bass. I'm gonna play it together so you can hear what it sound like.
He used blue bass too.
And then after that, that's when I added the boo bass. And the boo bass, I just I played it in the areas where I know the 808 wouldn't be hitting. So in between like the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5. I'm gonna play it
Okay.
together with it. So kind of led into the semitone change. And then after that, to add texture on the high end, I added a string from Expand called Big Heartstrings.
Okay.
And so now the
Simple stuff,
melody
y'all.
is
Simple stuff.
just D sound right now. But for the second half right here,
That's
I
that.
added a brass. It's called Through Trumpets, Crescendo, and Expand. And then after that, I started hi-hats. Shout out Gentle Beats. I use his kit on this
MIDI.
hi-hat. And I believe I just did a regular two-step on the hi-hats. And then I added a roll right here at the end.
Oh,
So it's
that's
just
the pack he got the hi-hat from.
added the rolls at the end for the snare. I got this snare in my kit called Get In Wit Me snares. I feel like this just added the club bounce to it, And then the 808s, I just did the three-step 808, and then I left these ears open. And I went back at the end. I feel like the beat was missing some in the low end, so I went back and added this piano from Expand. It's called Natural Grand Piano, and it's just following the bass notes of the piano. After that, I added some perks. So I started with this open hat, and I just layered it with the Spence 808. So it's
simple.
And then I added some perks. So the basis of Florida beat, relies on perks. That's how I feel. So, rim shot. I added this rim shot on. I basically just did that and then just added a third one like that for the rim. And then I added a tom at the end. Same thing. I just did it right here at the end too. So that kind of wrap up the pattern for me. And then I added this clave at the at the end of it.
Ethnic instrument.
Everything relies on the the melody for real. You know, you got your good melodies. You don't really got to do too much with the drums because it's gonna already be bouncy. You know, so just keep it consistent, keep it
Right.
simple, and then just don't overdo that bit.
Don't
And
overdo
that's
it.
just my beat breakdown
That's
for
the
real.
key.
Man, I got a couple records coming. I got
Yeah, what
a
you got
record
coming
with
next,
Cardi
Jit?
B,
Okay.
dropping soon. Meat Mill, you know,
Okay.
Wife and Lucci. You know, I just got the song with
Oh, Lucci.
ESTG, Houston
I don't know.
Atlantiville, Lil Baby and Travis Scott was on it. You know, I got a song with, you know, some upcoming artists too, like, you know, Lil Dill, SCY Jim, you know, a
That's
lot
what's up.
more, you know, upcoming rappers and established rappers. Thanks for watching my
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
radar beat breakdown for Get.
That's what's up. That's what's up. See, like you just gotta be out here, man. Be in the streets when it come to music. Don't be in the streets with the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Don't be out here being a hoodlum. But yeah, man, that was kind of lit. Got to see how he made the beat. You could see it wasn't too much that went into it. It was very simple. Simple things, just a few sounds for the melody. Drums was simple. It's just about filling in the space with different things, not having one instrument all the way through, like especially with drums. Like to get that bounce, you gotta have different things going on. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all watching the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and give me some ideas of what y'all want to see in the next video. And I'll see y'all in the next one. We out. Yeah.